Hey guys, welcome back to Words of War. My name is Jorge Guerra.
And I'm Sergio Guerra.
And today we're going to be reviewing The Quiet Ones. So we did a scary movie, a couple weeks ago? Oculus? Oculus was what it's called. So this is another scary movie that came out. So it's about pretty much a professor and his graduate students kind of taking this girl who they think is, kind of mentally crazy. And they're trying to prove that what she's haunted by is actually more of an affliction, like a mental affliction, rather than an actual supernatural force. So they kind of take her to this. They isolate her pretty much to run this whole experiment, and it's about them doing that while it's being filmed by this camera guy who kind of like falls for her. But the story goes on from there, and supernatural things happen. So as far as it goes for me, this movie was. Honestly, I feel like horror is trying to find itself again, and this is gonna. I wouldn't consider this horror again. This is gonna fall into that category. It's gonna be placed as a scary movie, But I think sometimes I think horror movies right now forget sometimes what made older horror movies creepy, especially when they have the location for a creepy house. They were setting up the ambience pretty good, but then they resort to the shaky camera and running around with the camera on, and I just think sometimes it takes you away from the story or takes you away from the feeling of creepiness. That being said, it looked really cool. I liked the way it was shot. It was set in the 70s, and I kind of liked that they filmed it a little bit with that kind of tint that you used to see in those days, So that was kind of cool. As far as acting goes, I think everybody did a pretty decent job. It was rated PG-13, which I thought was kind of strange for a scary movie. And just for me, just the story was a little slow sometimes, and the end payoff was kind of weak. So it didn't really swing much for me. What did you think?
Well, I don't know. I partially disagree with you because this is a Hammer film, so if you know anything about horror movies, I mean Hammer, it's like the UK or the UK's gift, I guess, to horror, and a lot of the old like Christopher Lee films I used to like to watch when I was a kid and all that, Dracula and horror Dracula and all that kind of stuff, and so just seeing the Hammer logo come up and all that, that's kind of cool. It definitely had that old world vibe, sort of, as far as the film, like George was saying, the way it was shot and everything. It's a film that takes itself seriously as a horror film, and I think you could put this as a horror film. It's definitely it's not going to be the best horror film ever, but this is the kind of film that you could, if you wanted to watch a scary movie, you could sit down and watch this. I do agree with what you're saying, though, that there's a little bit lacking in most horror films now, and I don't know necessarily it's an artistic, like challenge about them finding themselves. I think it's more of the studios trying to make money, because why else would you make a movie like this PG-13? I happen to like monsters and blood and guts and gore and all that, so all that kind of stuff gets pretty much thrown out the window once you say PG-13. So, yeah. And it's not necessary in all films, but in this film, it could have definitely helped. Yeah. I thought personally that the film, had pretty solid acting. Jared Harris, he's probably the most recognizable person there. He's playing the professor. He does a great job. I mean, the whole cast does really well. The film, builds tension. It builds the characters up. It kind of moves you forward, always keeping you guessing of like, well, what's really happening and what's going on and who's, playing who, sort of, and we'll call it. And it sets up the ending very well. But like I said, that's where I think the PG-13 kind of slapped it down, because right when it needed to get, kind of just let go, just, put all your chips on the table kind of thing, it kind of missed a little bit, But overall, I think it's I thought it was better than Oculus. You know, like I said, I would consider this a horror movie. It's not for everybody. It's got some good jump scares. You know, for some people, it gets a little creepy every now and then. It just, for me, it just felt a little shy of actually being a really good horror movie. So, what would you rate yours?
I'm gonna go with the same rating I gave Oculus, which is 6.5, just because the whole time, and it probably is because honestly, it was shot really well, and I like the locations that they picked, but just the whole time, and I think we discussed this earlier, like, it just felt like they were holding back the whole time. Like, it just felt like this had so much potential, and at the same time, it was a good thing about it, and at the same time, it was a bad thing about it for me. That it's like I could totally see this being a really good horror movie, and it just felt like they were holding back most of the time, especially at the end, like you said. So yeah, I would go with 6.5.
Yeah, and that, like, I attribute that to the studios, you know, making it PG-13 so that more people can be admitted to the theaters and you get more money and all that stuff, you know. But, you know, leaving all the, you know, kind of studio stuff aside, right? As a film itself, you know, I'd give it a 7, right at, because I think a lot of people, you know, if you're looking for a horror movie at the movie theaters, we've been kind of starved.
Yeah.
So this could be a pretty good film if you take your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever, you know, you want to get a little scare. It's not, to me, it doesn't feel like it will be a classic forever. But, you know, it's enjoyable. I think most people would find it enjoyable, a little creepy and a little scary, you know. So don't get your hopes too high up, and I think you could enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let us know what you think about it. If you check it out, you know, I did think, what's her name, the girl who played the crazy or possessed girl, that girl could cry on cue. I swear she was pretty good too. But yeah, so let us know what you think about it. Let us know if you got scared, if you know, if you cried at it, whatever the case may be. You know, it's okay. But like, subscribe as always towards the bottom. But again, my name is Jorge Guerra.
I'm Sergio Guerra.
And y'all have a good one. Bye.